That's better.
Hi, Mom.
Well, you missed the best 5 minutes of the show right there.
Yes, Mom, they are. And my values are the exact same.
I don't think mine are. Because I feel like you can sit in a room somewhere and learn a bunch of information, but there's only so much stuff that someone could say during, you know, one of those breakout sessions or something when you're at like a lunch and learn or you're at.
Of course, our good friends at Steph's Bookkeeping, great ribbon.
Getting distracted and just tell your story.
And we sent them flying.
Cameras off.
You're live here on 216 Creator Studios. This is In the Know, Steph and Joe, and the devil you know. It all rhymes today.
Yeah. So what's the devil?
So it's the devil you know versus the devil you don't. Okay.
Yeah. Please give
So
us definitions, because I've been racking through this my entire week and going, what does that mean? What does it mean? What's this? What about the devil? Is it like my vices? Ludacris has a great song.
Oh, I like that
Vices,
song.
vices.
The best is this has bothered you all week.
I mean, like,
He could have just called me earlier in
the
the week.
devil in me. It's the devil in me.
So-
And that's what I thought of. Is like,
Okay, so the devil you know is something that a struggle or a person that you're dealing with, but you know them.
Yeah.
Like you know them, you know the process of something, you know like the bank you work with, you know this. But there's things that bother you about said person or institution. Then the versus the devil you don't know would be either firing that person and getting a new employee to replace them.
you don't know their vices.
Right. You don't know what that brings to the table, or moving your banking to another bank. You don't know what that brings to the table. Switching softwares and the struggles that could be with implementing a new software, because I'm pretty confident that any and all small business owners out there, even like people in management, have implemented some level of software within their company and gone through that, or have somebody like Rich Conley that wants to bring software every 5 minutes to a new software and be like, oh, let's switch this or let's do that. Look at this chain thing. Look at this. And oh, this will integrate this. Then you could just do this. Like, that's not for me, like switching softwares. So that's kind of the definition and examples of things that a lot of small business owners or managers or could struggle with as it pertains to that.
If I leave my am I still in the camera?
Yeah.
You could literally see yourself on the screen.
I understand, but I just want
That's
to
the same
make sure
thing
that
on everybody. What?
So,
Hey,
that's why we
the devil in me.
That's why we stick with In the Know with Steph and Joe and not In the Know with Steph and Larry.
Listen, Larry's actually a great dude. Have you ever met Larry?
I probably met several Larrys down the road.
Well, Larry is our dog.
Oh, Larry's the dog.
So this could either go, either you can swap out for the devil you don't know and it be better or be worse than if you would have just stuck with the devil you knew.
Let's start with the devil we know.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, I mean, one of the examples I brought up that's super easy that I relate to is banking, because I deal with clients that bank at, I don't know, probably like 30 different banks. Like, you know.
Mace. We'll call it Mace.
The blue stuff. So.
We'll call it Mace.
I'm just saying they bank
Mace.
with
They bank with Mace, and Mace may be really big, and I understand that, and they have.
Well, it's not specific. I'm not saying that's specific to like any bank.
But this is
I'm just saying
like the start of.
Well, no, I'm just saying that they like all the different clients that I have, they have all different banks. Some people will only deal with local community banks. They won't do big banks because it's harder for them to get loans. They have a longer standing relationship. It's a small town feel. They enjoy that kind of thing. But some of the small town banks, and Kent, I think you could probably jump in on this, is
Do you have a bit of knowledge on
they
this,
have
sir?
some limitations in the size and risk of loans that they're willing to do because
Their window of appetite.
right. So it's just, so then you have the commercial banking. So then it's like you get mad at your bank for something like, let's say your debit card on your business, your commercial debit card got hacked and someone transacted something and you were trying to dispute the charge. You can't dispute a charge on a commercial debit card the same way you can with your personal debit card. A lot of, I don't know if all banks, but a lot of banks will not allow you to dispute that charge.
Yeah. So, so if we're going with that devil, right?
Mhm.
The larger the financial institution, the better rates you're going to have, or fee structure, less fees that you may have. But you may have the inability.
The window of fudginess is narrower.
Yeah, or they don't want to do a lot of loans. Where you go to a smaller bank, the fees may be a little bit higher, but they can get your loan done.
Right. Well, some banks,
risk of appetite is
Right.
wider.
Is
The
right.
window is wider.
So the devil that you may be at that small bank, and the devil that is, I know I'm paying more in the fees, but I'm able to get money when I need it.
right.
And I'm comfortable with that. Yet when I look at my books for my business, I could really save a lot of money going with the other devil, but then I wouldn't be able to get the money that I need.
Right.
I need something to write stuff down.
Yeah.
So you'll have that potential trade-off
Yeah.
with that. But like if you get mad at your bank and then you're like, okay, whatever, I'm going to fire my bank or switch my bank and I'm going to go to this other bank.
Yeah.
But then you have to think about all of the things that come along with that. So like all of your auto pay stuff. So like any of your bills that are on auto pay, all of your direct deposit stuff, like for your employees and payroll, and all of that has to be updated. You have to get new checks. You have to, like there's like a lot of steps in doing that. So when you're committing to it, you have to commit. You can't just make a decision out of anger because you're having a temper tantrum. Like,
is that your norm?
No, I usually sleep on things for a good 36 hours.
I feel like you have some temper tantrums.
I don't make, it's very, very, very rare if I make a snap decision. Usually if it's a big decision, it takes me at least 36 hours to
All
sleep
right,
on
I'm
it.
projecting my wife on you. You're
Like,
right.
Rich will make a snap decision.
Carrie makes some
But, like,
snap decisions
yeah.
occasionally. And so do I. I will definitely make one. But normally when I'm doing it, it's to buy something. Yep, let's just do it.
Yeah, Rich will be like, yep. And I'll be like,
I think that's all dudes. I'm like, hey, you did a good job with your sale. I'll buy. That's all right. We're good.
Well, it's just like I think my brother got like super like in the moment of shopping for a car, like he was kind of sort of
Yeah.
contemplating it, and then he started negotiating the deal, and then like he was going back and forth with the two dealerships, and then he's like, and then next thing I know, he bought a new car, like, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I think
You did that.
I think in business depends on what we're talking about for the devil. So in my business, I'm okay
Thank you.
loving on the devil that I have,
Mm-hmm.
right? For a lot of things. So let's take, for instance, our streaming platform here, right? With the little goose head there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There might be some other ones out there that may be a little bit more powerful and might do a few more things, but I know this one, right? And yes, a couple of weeks ago, they did an update that goofed us all up, and things didn't get out on the air, and it was weird, right? Until they fixed the bug from their update, where that devil is like, I'm a son of a god, And then because we've got people who are anticipating shows at certain times, and when I can't get it out there on a recording from a certain time, then I get very frustrated.
But how often does that actually happen? Just to be honest, because you can say
maybe a couple times a year, right?
So you're talking, not that often.
Yeah, but you know how many times, like, so when Kent and Drew went to that radio expo in California.
To NAMM.
Yeah, so when you guys went and did that, I'm sure that there was at least 7 booths of the competitors from your
That's right.
streaming
Yes.
software.
Correct.
And then it's
Yes.
like you're sitting there, and then sometimes you're all caught up in the moment
Yeah.
because the salespeople are good
Yeah.
at what they do, and it sounds nice, and these new features sound nice. But then when you come back and you demo it, and then you work in your software again for a minute, you're like, you know what? Like, I don't know.
Okay, great question,
Yeah.
because this is something that I always walk into. So my personal experience is I walk in and you tell me something, I go, it is the bee's knees, and I'm in.
Okay.
Okay? You give me something, I'm going to be like, great, love it. As you do it, I'm going to slowly pick you apart.
Yeah, see, like some people I know also do that, and like that drives me nuts. Because you had the opportunity for questions, comments,
No, but
concerns,
I can't,
all of that.
but that's the devil in me.
Yeah, but that's not the show, Joe. It's the devil
sorry.
you know,
Sorry.
not the me.
That's the devil I know that is me.
But
wait, in my mind though, if the devil I know is I'm going to slowly pick you apart, I'm going to slowly pick you apart, and then I know who you are, and that's the devil I know.
No, you can't use
But I
yourself
don't know
as the
it-
devil. Like
What?
you yourself cannot be the devil.
I'm
in
not
this-
saying I'm the devil.
You
What I'm
did.
saying is, well,
No, like
I said
in this
you're right.
in this
Just
circumstance
now,
and
I just said it.
situation,
You're right.
you can't be that in
Here's
order.
our next intro video.
You can't be that. So like it would be like, let's say you have an employee that while they're at work, okay, they work. They're good
Yes.
and
Yes.
whatever. But let's say they take off in your opinion, an excessive amount of days or days beyond their allotted
Let's
PTO.
say
Okay.
I don't have an employee that's not calling in sick
Right.
often.
I'm not
right
saying
now.
that this person exists at your company, or
They don't.
Okay,
This
fine.
is a totally
my co-
hypothetical.
Right. So you have an employee, okay?
That's calling in sick.
Yeah. Right. In this situation, you have this, or not sick, but just calls in
Calls in.
because you can't ask them. So then, so you have that, but when they're there at the office or company or whatever, or out in the field, they work and they work good. And when they produce the deliverable, it's good.
Oh, this
Okay.
is the hypothetical.
Right. So this
Got
is the
it.
devil that you know.
Got
and
it.
this is the struggle
Got
that
it.
you have with this
Got
person.
it. Yes.
If you let that, then your option is you let them go and you bring in a new person that can have a different vice or problem or situation.
Correct.
Maybe they show up every single day to work and they're there
But
every day, but they don't perform.
effing suck.
Right.
Right.
So
Okay.
then
Which one?
So right. So
What vice?
which one would have been the lesser of the two evils? Should it's like a grass is always greener circumstance or hindsight 2020. You can't go back. You can't renege on the firing and hiring the new person because
I mean,
it's already done.
Always ask.
I
It's a
mean,
conversation.
I don't think I've ever
really
fired
don't.
and rehired somebody ever.
I've never done that. 'Cause
I've never done
That would be-
well, I'm just saying, but I'm sure.
Hi,
it's
Aunt
been
Janet.
done.
Hey,
Hey, Janet. Hi, Aunt Jenny.
So
Is Jenny? Oh, sorry, that was wrong. That came out. I didn't know if it
That's
was
a hard-
right.
that's
It
a
was-
hard T at the end.
Yeah, Janet. All right.
But so like so that's
here's my
what your
deal.
scenario would be. So it's like you never know like what's behind door number 2 in this circumstances of
Correct.
plenty.
So here's the deal. If I think, and I feel like this is too early in the show, I feel like this should be waited for at the end, right? I don't think this line should be given, but if truly I know what door number 1 is and I don't know what door number 2 is,
Right.
ultimately that's the line of the show. If I don't know door number 2, but I do know door number 1, I'm going to assess door number 1 and say, if I can actually feel that it's going to be changeable
Mm-hmm.
and I can really change that human, my wife, being a teacher, God bless her heart, really pumped in,
Patience.
has a ton of patience and really, really drilled into an employee this week, and that is something that she is willing to do, and is really promoting, and therefore, is that the other aunt?
No, that's Shayna.
Same aunt?
No, it's Shayna.
Oh, sorry.
You're really having trouble with that monitor.
I can't
today.
see.
For those listening on the radio, Joe
You know,
is having troubles
seeing today.
That's your devil.
It's that blue and black.
Yeah, Shayna just says, wouldn't that be the job of a manager to figure out how to get the
Hi,
person to
Shayna. I'm the
metric?
manager, and I'm supposed to manage my employees, but I'm very bad at that.
Zero
so,
salt.
What?
Zero salts, she said.
Zero. So I don't know. I'm not like a good.
So like this show is never gonna have an end result to it, or like a fine bottom line.
I feel like occasionally we've gotten to one.
Because I feel. I'm just saying that this show isn't really gonna have an end to it because.
It was the taco one, I think.
It was the taco one.
Because
only when my mom shows up do we get to an end result, right?
Because it's always the unknown behind door number 2. So it's either your level
fair point.
Right. So it's either your level of comfort and acceptance of what you have in front of you, or it's your level of risk.
Now,
and risk adverse people will tend to stick with the devil they know.
Okay, I like the devil I know if I know that I can change that devil, i.e. give them certain things. If I know there's some kind of growth in the future with that devil, I'm okay with the devil.
Mm-hmm.
However, I'm a risk fourth person. I love to roll the dice.
So you like the new devil?
I'm okay with the new devil,
because
I will say, hey, devil, great, nice to meet you. How can you help me? As I just said, help me. Oh, nope. I hear it. I see it. I hear it. And then I go, all right, I'm done.
Right.
Right. You're right. It sucks. I don't know.
Right? It's like you keep thinking about it. And then as you're talking,
I know it's right. And I know it's what I do. And I know it's right to me.
But I know
it may not be right to you.
But I'm just saying you're kind of talking about it, and then you're thinking about it, and then you're
I know it's.
And then
what
it brings up a scenario, and you're of how you reacted in the scenario, and then it makes that
I'm okay
small
with it because
hesitation. I'm saying just during the show, not in life.
So, the show needs real reactions.
Yeah, Shannon says people that make money seem to come with a little stupid. It's a puzzle. But here's what I'll say on
those. Hang on, Shayna.
Side.
Those run out. The people that make money seem to come with a little stupid. That runs out eventually.
Yeah,
I know people like that. I've seen people like that, and Shayna, I can tell you that I'm watching somebody do a complete nosedive right now, doing that thing.
Mm.
Right? So it's not like...
Hopefully they don't have a big
nose. Hopefully they're not really tall.
Yeah, right. Or
let's look at physics here.
Yeah. So, but here's what I'll say. I will lay in bed with that employee devil for a long time because I think that I'm going to get the best, and I believe in myself. And
it's eventually it's going to happen.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
I'm going to bring it out in them.
And I've gone to battle for my employees.
Right, you're I'm a good manager. I will figure out what works for this person, and we will bring out their top performance.
I bet your burn rate and my burn rate are the exact same.
What do you mean by burn rate?
Meaning, I bet the amount of times you've got burned on an employee
yeah, probably
versus the amount of times I've got burned on an employee, doing my method versus doing your method,
probably.
We've probably been burned the same times.
Mine's just been a slower burn.
Might be more expensive
right?
burn.
But
that's a more expensive burn right there.
But that's the truth, though, because when you go to hire somebody in today's world,
I love that you brought that up.
Everybody is a professional interviewer now,
Mm-hmm.
right? And depending on
I've met some shitty interviewers,
and depending on where you work, if you're a small business owner and you don't have an HR profile, you kind of can ask what you want to ask as long as you ask it to everybody for equal opportunity, right? But when you work for a major corporation, they hand you, here, you will ask these questions during the interview, right? So you don't have a chance to really get to know. So I would rather continue to work with the devil that I know that might be giving me 50% or 25% because I think I can pull it out of them, rather than, okay, let me go through and listen to all these schmucks and get somebody who then isn't here along and goes, I can't do this. I don't, that's me.
Are you burned on that methodology, that process? Meaning of the conglomerate. Hey, these are the way we want you to interview a human. This is the way we want you to do
I
it.
never abided by those, but I did ask everybody the same questions.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, tell me a time when you use teamwork. I said, fuck off. The best one, I was in an interview when my coffee shop went under, and I went to Menards to interview, and there's this young kid there, and he's like, hey man, tell me where you want to be in 5 years. And I started laughing. He goes, what's so funny about that question? I go, listen, had you asked me that 5 years ago, it wouldn't be sitting here in front of you asking for a part-time job. I go, I understand why you're saying that, because you want to see if I've got, aspirations or whatever. But the truth of the matter is, I don't know where I'm going to be in 5 years, and neither do you. But thanks for asking the question. I didn't get the job.
You don't say.
But okay.
So is that the devil in you?
That might be the devil in me.
Okay, so if we switch off of employees, and let's go back to software, okay? So like recently, Rich wanted to switch our project management software because it's getting kind of expensive.
What did he want to go?
We were going to go, ultimately, we were going to go into ClickUp because he could design it, build it, and then put the chain blocks in with that backend software.
What is ClickUp replacing?
Acello, but not all the way.
Oh, okay.
So we use this.
You have no fucking clue what that means, do you?
No, because we just changed CRM and project management. We were using Reich, and now we went.
Oh yeah, we demoed that.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
ShamWow. All right, I'm the one out here. Oh,
so Acello can do reports, time tracking, contracts, collect payments, do invoice. Like it could do a bunch of stuff outside. So it does a bunch, and then it also integrates with QuickBooks. So, but it's really, really expensive per user. And the more employees we get, the worse this is getting.
I'm not asking you how much it is per user, but I'm asking you how much is it a multiple of what you're currently paying per user, right?
So I'm paying like around like
$10 per user, and the next
no, I'm paying like over $100 per user.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
right now.
Yes, in Acello. Yeah.
And the next one is
so ClickUp was going to be, I think, $25 a month, but
that doesn't.
It doesn't do.
You did not give me. You just gave me A plus B equals C, and I was asking, what? So, what are you paying per user now?
$108. Maybe it's like 106. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Per user
per month.
The next one that we're talking about is going to be how much per user?
It was like
$25
to $7 per user.
So it's substantially cheaper,
but it doesn't do the same stuff. So this is like so we have this software that's a CRM.
I'm starting to catch up. My bad. Anybody that was listening to this, I'm sorry.
So it's a CRM and project management software and contract and invoicing software.
Okay.
So it does multiple facets of things. Okay. But
you're current.
But we don't use all of the features or need all of the features in there. But because I want the reports, I have to pay for the highest tier. They won't let me cherry pick and make my own package. Yeah. So we were going to use ClickUp and use like Practice Ignition or something like that. I think it was Practice Ignition to do the contract side, and then Rich spent all this time building these integrations to design to make these integrations for all of our softwares to save the money. But as we were going through,
he's using the little zaps.
Zapier. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's zapping.
Well, he uses Make, but yeah, it's a similar
But
product.
he's zapping between Make and
Yeah. hmm So
They're talking to each other.
he makes the little chain blocks and stuff.
oh, good.
But so we were so Rich knows that like I am comfortable in a cello. He sold me on this when we opened the business. I agreed to pay this escalated fee per month in anticipation of us growing into the software because he knows I don't like switching software. Okay. Then we're at this point now where I don't know, I think we spent maybe 2.5 months building out this ClickUp because you build it out from the ground zero. Like everything you build out in there.
So much work into it. We're thinking about that now.
So we
glad we're having this conversation.
So we built all of that out, and then we found one bug in ClickUp that ruined the whole transition and transfer. That it just at that point we just forgot to ask that one question in the demo, and it was immediately a hard no for me then. And then Rich tried for like 3 weeks to do a workaround and see if he could build something himself for it. We even called like a specialist that does like these things, and we couldn't figure out a way around it. So we just went back to the devil we know.
Specialist.
But like I refused to give up what we had and dive all in. Like software scares me. Like I will pay a dual subscription and run it parallel for 3 months before I'll make the dive. Because like I can't.
Okay. So hang on. That's actually a good point. Is I didn't hear what you said.
I said the new one might have blue eyes and better muscles.
So I feel like.
What are you talking about?
So hang on though. That's a good point. There's certain things that we all know you need to run. Like I buy a new phone.
Mm-hmm.
I go out and I go, oh, there's the newest.
Whatever you have.
What's the,
iPhone,
iPhones,
Samsung,
the
iPhone
Apple 16.
There you go. Whatever. So
Zoom
16.
Yeah.
It comes out. 17 is going to come out next. Great. I'm going to wait because I want those bugs to shake out.
Oh, yes. You don't buy the first year of the cars.
Or run the program, the software, the whatever the first year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
you stay with the devil, you know.
I do for a bit. If I know that it's handling what I need to do. And that kind of to me was your point. My question is, do you know that you're doing good enough and now you have this new thing? You're going to go out and try and attack it, but
yeah, now we're just keeping a cello. We demoed like 8 softwares, and to operate going from operating out of 2 softwares to then operating out of 4 with these integrations. And if something breaks on a custom made integration, like for me, like I can't, like it's just my brain I can't do it.
So you went to the gala with the price tag still on the dress.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I peeked.
Tucked it into the bra strap and walked in.
Right in.
Like I look, I'll take a peek behind the curtain. Hey. I like when it comes to software, I will dance with both and then make a decision. Like I will pay the extra money to run them both in parallel.
So when I said earlier in the show at the beginning that I like to run it and then you falter, I judge, and then I go, fuck you. I do that with like things like that because I know that it's like a pretty quick, I can figure out exactly what's going on. Right? I mean, I can pretty much figure out, I feel like with software,
right?
Especially with software, right? I'm a millennial. I know my shit enough. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If it does, if you have great features, if your certain things don't work, I'm going to call it out. So I guess to me, I understand that. There are certain things that when I say I'm going to let you go and just judge you as you go, I guess it's more like there's certain things that I'm going to pay attention.
Yeah, like I feel like for me, it's easy to make a transition or a jump when it comes to a person. Like if I'm like, oh, this employee is just like
That's what I was thinking in the beginning.
Yeah.
That's what I made my comment off of.
Yeah, like if they just kind of like if I can't get past those
fresh right now, in
those
my
like
mind.
idiocies that just like get under my skin, like if I just feel like we can't work together or I can't develop them because we're just not
Yes.
compatible, doesn't
Yes.
mean that they're a bad employee and doesn't mean that I'm a bad manager. It's just we're just not compatible. It's just not gonna work. It's just like how Michelle at Clean Bee makes all of her employees take that whatever that DISC assessment to make sure who they could put in the trucks together and who's compatible with working in the office team and whatever. And it works
If my
for
wife
them.
and I did a DISC assessment, we would be like complete separate opposite.
Right.
Is that good? Is that bad? Don't know.
Well, I feel like when you guys are both owners, I feel like it's a good thing because then you have like a mama bear and a papa bear when it comes to
that could be
conversations.
Counterintuitive at times.
Well, it depends on but I'm just saying, like with people, I can make a faster decision to jump from one devil to the other.
Mama bear.
With-
How does rich Papa Bear and you get along sometimes?
What do you mean? We don't work together.
Well,
So that's
fair,
very different.
But you're talking about doing software stuff together.
No. He did.
No.
He did the software when it was done and ready to implement. Then he presented the final product to me. Like I knew we were demoing software.
You commissioned him to do work.
I don't. Him and
As a
I do
third
not
party.
work together
Got it.
at
I understand now.
it's a
I
very
understand.
low capacity that we work together
There's a
because we're
devil
so
in
opposite.
you.
But
And there's a devil in
it
you.
also with software, it also depends on what stage you are in your business. You've had this software for what, a couple years?
7.
There you go. Right? So I mean that stank.
Seven?
That stank ain't coming off.
We
know what I mean?
Oh, 100%.
I'm spoiled
we've
now.
Changed,
Right.
We've changed softwares probably at least two, probably
Right.
3 times
So, I mean,
in
Steph-
our 7 years we've been open.
Look, with that devil, Steph showing up on Mondays with sunglasses on and say she fell down the stairs. You know what I'm talking about. Right? But somebody that's new, like Aegis Solutions in a startup, right? Not just at 2 years old, and
Hey.
now just really getting
Good plug.
got it, and just getting to the need for the CRM, having those employees, the need for the CRM. We were using a CRM, and so we were using Zoho and Reich, but they didn't talk to each other.
Mhm.
So the guys out in the field didn't know what the guys in the office were putting in as notes. And so we had to look, even though they worked well, we had to look at what are we going to use that they can talk to each other so
Well,
that everybody knows.
QuickBooks has the ability to do scheduling and notes and stuff.
Well,
Just saying.
But we
software
don't.
wise. Software wise,
Right.
we took on one that will handle both the billing, not QuickBooks,
Mhm.
everything but QuickBooks essentially, and then the only thing we needed was a CRM,
Yeah.
which it could do the CRM, but we need something a bit more robust. So
Because you have all those pictures and documents
Yeah,
and
you
all
got
that.
to-
So the job platform we use has a CRM process, but the CRM process is not nearly as good as other real, actual CRM softwares, right?
Sure.
And
That's
so it was like, now we're doing, all right, what devil do we?
Right.
Multiple,
You just have to
we're fucking with multiple devils here.
fine. Yeah.
Well, it's just like you have to figure out the workaround. Like if you're wanting to stick with the devil you know,
Aha.
you have to figure out that workaround.
And I hate that we're falling on softwares because there's so much more but it really is a good metaphor for this entire.
Exactly.
Well, I didn't want to
Um,
like shit on employees for like an
the
hour.
entire time.
Like I feel like because I don't like it's not
I'd
like
you
we'd
to
be.
I love that you think we talk about certain humans for 1 hour.
I'm just saying, like, I didn't want people to think that we were just referring to employees, but there's like a whole bunch of different things. I mean, I'm sure some of the listeners out there have different devils that they're struggling with that aren't 2 or 3 of the topics that we mentioned.
Right.
There's
I
a
know there's
plethora of
devils
things.
out there. Oh God,
Well,
I
it's
have
just
so
like-
many devils.
it's just like even switching, like,
vices,
chambers
vices,
or
vices.
marketing strategies or branding
business,
strategies,
networking
right?
groups.
Right. So like there's like probably like 100 different things that we could go down where you have like the devil you know versus the devil you don't. Like
how often do you feel like the devil you know, and this is kind of, it doesn't matter what it is, software, networking groups, whatever it is, I don't care. But how often is it comfortability that keeps you there rather than, no, I need something better? Because truly, to be honest, that might be the actual crux of the show is like, hey, we all know this sucks, but I keep showing up because it's comfortable, or I keep doing it because it's comfortable, or I keep using it because it's comfortable.
Like, I would say, like,
right?
I overstayed my welcome at a few networking groups that I've been part of over the years where it just, like, I really enjoyed the other business owners and the friendships and the relationships that we were developing. And I really enjoyed, like, seeing them and spending time with them. But
That's what they really are, social gatherings.
but the results of it wasn't like, if I took my time versus the results, like the value wasn't there.
So I have a question on that. Do you value the relationships and that moment that you have those to maintain those as enough? Or is the devil like is that the devil, or is it really like, hey, no, I know once a week I'm going to see these people and that's good enough for me. I'd rather spend the time. I know they send me business. I know they refer me, or they do, or they do X, Y, and Z. Whatever it is.
The devil is Mings. The wolf pack.
ShamWow. ShamWow.
But
ShamWow.
I joke. We love
Yeah,
but yeah,
you,
like,
no,
so
you don't. No, you
I don't know.
You
like
don't. You don't joke.
That's all I
it boils down to like, the devil I know is going there on, whatever day of the week and spending the time with those people. I know that I may or may not get a lead like once every like 2 or 3 months, or the devil I didn't know at the time was trying a different marketing or branding strategy. So that's what I did.
Okay.
I ultimately dropped out of all the networking groups, and then it was determined who was going to continue to maintain a relationship with me or who wasn't. And those people that didn't and weren't, they never really were truly supporters of my business. They really could give a fuck about my business.
So I agree with that.
What does Derek say real quick?
Yeah,
and then we'll
we don't care what Derek says. So here's what I have to say is go ahead. Say what Derek has to say.
Says, yes, we've all got them. It's a balancing act and very careful consideration. The benefits are good of them, and the benefits good of the unknown. My final decision maker is usually the question of what's the worst that can happen with each option.
So here's what I have to say. I love that. If you were to change some group, right? You mentioned I go to this group in the morning on Tuesdays.
Okay.
Right? For example, let's say I get up and I go to this group on Tuesday mornings and I'm there at 8:00, 8 to 9.
Mm-hmm.
Great. What is the worst that can happen if I stop going? Well, if I get a new group of humans at 8 to 9 o'clock, great. Nothing. But if I stop going, I'm potentially going to stop meeting and seeing those people on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
Now, do I have another group that I'm meeting with from 8 to 9 o'clock every Tuesday morning? Or do I have another group, right? A lot of times I think people look at these networking groups and go, well, this exact time at this very moment, I'm sucking and I'm not doing anything. But then they quit the group and they're sleeping in.
Yeah, well, like
not doing anything. So what's the devil? The devil is, well, fuck off. You're not doing anything. You're sleeping in.
I don't know. I mean, like
I'm not saying you. I'm not saying you.
But like I quit those networking groups and whatever and learned what I learned from there. And then like now it's given me more time. Hi, Mom. Now it's given
Hi,
me
Mom.
more time and things where I could do more training and development with my team and develop things within the business. So I ultimately turned it into more of a positive for me. Not every time does that happen, but in this
Kind of what I'm
situation,
saying
it did.
is, to me, I loved my group at that moment, and I ultimately decided that I have other things to do, and I'm enough driven that I get up and do those things, right? But at that time, my group got up at 7:30. We met, and we were doing from 7:30 to 8:30 or whatever it was. But I looked at it and went, well, other than that, what am I going to be doing? Most people go back and sleep in. They're not getting up. You got up and figured out what to do, right? So that's the devil
that I didn't know. Like I didn't know what
You
I was going to
didn't
do
know
with that
that-
time
exactly.
and how I was going to grow the business. But I took the leap, and now I'm happy I did in that circumstance. But
I love that.
you know, but not every time does it work out good like that. But it,
well,
you know,
but that's the devil you
Right.
don't know is your drive that you're like, oh, fuck off. I can go and be awesome on a regular basis, right?
Right.
Many people don't think about that. And that's kind of what I'm saying is how often do we go and say, well, let me just get up and start doing, or, you know, I have this group I meet with, they do send me business. I love them. What am I replacing it with? Well, they're not giving me business, so I'm not going to go.
Yeah.
Right? If I don't go, what's replacing it that makes you more business?
Right.
Right? The devil you don't know is how much you can do more.
Right.
Really.
Right. Yeah. I mean, in that circumstance, yeah, there's that. You know, what was another example we gave of the devil you know versus the devil you don't? You have the networking branding. I mean, like even it's like when you want to put together your branding strategy and budget and whatever, like I, as well as you, go to several golf outings for the summer season. Like
What's good? What's
personally, me, like I get no business from the golf outings, but I have met a couple CPA firms where I've developed good relationships with. So that's a different thing. I haven't gotten a deal from them.
No, though.
No, I've had a coffee with them. I haven't gotten
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that
no.
like I don't want to do the golf outings. Like they're like the bane of my existence. I hate doing them, but then I'm like I get FOMO when it's approaching, and I will register in the 11th hour to a week from the golf outing, and I'll register and do it. Yeah, like I hate going to those things. They cost
literally is
so
the
much
devil
money.
You know.
They cost so much money. I don't get any money back.
You know.
Waste of a day.
Like I'm like out there all day.
You know.
I bring in
doing it because you know it.
Yeah, and like I just get whatever. I like get FOMO like when I'm not like potentially thinking that I'm not going to be there.
We just had an epiphany.
So it's just like.
Did you hear the epiphany? Do you have an epiphany sound?
She's a FOMO.
No, she has like literal FOMO is devil you know. FOMO.
But yeah, so it's just like, what if
What if you weren't to do that?
The golf outings?
Yep.
Probably nothing would happen. I probably have more money in my marketing budget for
Mom,
the year.
you'd have less chocolate calculators to make. Although I still want you to make some because I like them.
But it's just
white chocolate ones, white chocolate this time. So
it's just like it's like a
if you were to
it's
not
something
wait,
that's in my
okay.
schedule. It's something that's in my schedule. It's the devil I know. It's slotted for that time, that year, whatever. And then I'm sure I'll find something else to do with my day. Like
if
I didn't
not do them, but you typically just pull the trigger and do it.
Yeah, usually in the 11th hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what?
Like my mom can tell you. I tell her every year.
What would you do if you didn't do them?
I don't know. I haven't really thought that far out. Like I don't know.
I don't want to know
Like
the dollar. I don't want to know the dollar amount. I just want to know if you were to take like a quarter of the dollars you spend on golf events, what would you do with those dollars throughout the year? Because you're a very money coordinated and budgeted business and human. So therefore, I know that you know your numbers, and so fuck off if you tell me that you don't know, because I know you know the number.
Yeah, I spend between $500 and $700 per outing.
Thank you. Okay,
Yeah.
So now take how many outings you do in a year.
3 or 4.
Okay, so 3 to 4 means 500. You're stocking $1,500 to $2,800 a year.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Am I right?
Yeah, between 2,000 and 2,800. Yeah.
1,500.
Well, no, because if I do four times
500.
4 times 5 is 20.
Oh, I was doing 3 times 5.
All right, and then you were
'Cause
doing
you said
like
3 to 4 outings at
then
$500
$500 to $700.
$700
Yeah,
is
yeah, but
I did
2,800
300 times 500.
Yeah.
All right, so
Okay.
here we are.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a math show one time.
But yeah,
Okay,
I mean,
so
yeah.
here
so
we
like
go.
That's
All
what I
right, I'm
spend
digging
in
in
the
on
golf
this.
outing.
Hang on, I'm digging in on this. So what would you do with, let's go with the least amount, $1,500.
Okay.
What would you do with $1,500? If you had that extra for marketing, what would you do with that? As opposed to golf outings and the time. Oh, hang on. What would you also do with 24 hours? Times probably 2 employees. So you're talking.
Well, it's me and one other employee, but
Yep.
yeah.
2 humans. So you're talking 16, 24, 48. You're talking $1,500 in 48 hours.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell would you do with that kind of that?
I don't know. I mean, like, I would probably like to go to some other seminars on small business development and accounting and bookkeeping development in different states, because I've looked at different seminars. I mean, usually we go to QuickBooks Connect, but this year we're not going because I didn't really like I just didn't like the class list.
From you to me to him.
Yeah. Well, it didn't. And also, I just want to point out, I'm clearly not the only accountant that feels that way about the QuickBooks Connect this year, because they didn't sell out. They're still sending me invitation requests. And it's literally next week.
Bitches.
So it's literally on Monday.
Hey, now you can give the.
But there's other bookkeeping and strategizing seminars in different states that I'd like to go to. So yeah, I would probably go do that and do some more education and things like that.
But that hang on. You did not. So you use that money in a different way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably. Yeah. What? Oh,
you would do that?
Pull it out of branding, and yeah, because we have a branding like feel good budget.
Devil, you know. Devil,
and then we
you
have a
don't
marketing
know.
budget, which
Devil,
is separate.
you know. Devil, you don't know.
Or I would increase in editing.
I'm just asking you.
Right.
You're no longer. You're taking the money out of the devil, you know, of marketing.
Well, no, that's branding.
Branding, marketing, sales. I don't fucking care. It's
different
all the same
budgets
goddamn.
in our
it's
book.
Service versus the hopper.
I'm just saying.
Remember? Versus.
I'm just saying my branding budget. I don't get
Hopper.
I don't anticipate a return on that money.
Hopper. You
the
still receive
marketing budget better give me an ROI.
Hopper. It's
so
all,
like I feel like
hopper.
I allocate stuff because I know that you get suckered in and you have to do stuff because you're part of different groups or you have friends that are part of everything.
I'm just asking
like
you.
Dawn Bremer is part of everything. So you have to go to everything.
Lord, she is.
We're not throwing any humans under the bus. I'm just asking.
She knows
you.
how I feel about it. I'll see her in a couple hours.
Well, all right. Deal.
Listen, she's been run over several times.
Rode hard and put away wet.
Hey,
I'm sorry,
hey,
Dawn.
no,
Hey.
But
so wait.
Yeah.
But you're taking the money. You said I'm taking the money out of my
branding,
devil I know, and putting it into a devil
education.
I don't know.
Right.
but you do know that devil that you're putting into. But you're taking
Kind
it
of.
out
I've never
of
been to
marketing.
those
You're taking
seminars.
it out of your sales side.
Like, have you ever
And-
been to a bad seminar? Like, and you paid all that money and you didn't take anything out of it? Because, I mean, I feel like I have had that before.
I mean,
so I'm just saying it could be the same thing,
Yes.
except you just don't have a fun day drinking day
Right.
during that whole process.
ShamWow. Is everything about drinking with you?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
The devil we know.
Says the man with a doob tube.
What?
Says the man who created a doob tube.
I didn't create it. I just recreated it.
But so, yeah, I mean, there's
Fair, though.
there's
Good
things
point.
like that where it's like you're just do them every year, and it's just okay. There's the expectation, you do it, it's whatever, and you kind of just chalk it up. But yeah, I'm sure there's things that you could be doing better or whatever. But would I stop doing the golf outings after the show and thinking about it? No, because I'm just going to bitch about it
So-
until the golf outing, and then I'm going to do it anyways.
One of the devils that I know.
I love that, and I can't wait to see you on the 9th green.
One of the devils that I know. But that's
Yes.
why everybody says Steph's hole was the favorite on the outing.
I always have the best stuff there. You
She
can't beat what I
does.
got.
She does.
Rich, that's not true.
Yeah. Anyway. One of the devils that I know is the need for perfection. So you know what I mean? Is when I'm doing something, one of the devils I know is like I've got to plan it out and see it to perfection before I pull the trigger.
Mhm.
You know, and a lot of times Brian will be like, "It's not what I'm asking for, Kent. You're way over here. I need you here." Right? Because I'm looking at big, I'm looking at the steps. I'm looking at the ingredients to put in there. And I'm like, we're missing 3 ingredients. And he's like, just put it in the oven. The 3 ingredients will show up, right? So a lot of times the devil that I know, I'm the devil.
Is yourself?
Yeah. And or I'm Brian's devil because I, call it devil's advocate or whatever, but it's like, I see what you're saying, but you want to build a snowman. We don't got snow. Yeah.
Hey, I love what you're talking about here, but
Right.
we can't put wheels on a car if we only
Right.
got
We talked about it a
one.
little bit in the green room. I mean,
Right.
We're going through some things, and Brian's a great visionary, and he, I always have to say, are you in this conversation? Are you 3 years from now, or are you today? Right? Because I'm today.
God, we've
Right.
had that conversation today in
Yeah.
our internal company so much about how we have an employee that really wants to do great things and really wants to be awesome. However, when I look at it from the overall arching perspective, not just like, hey, this one facet, right? This one facet, you're right.
Yeah.
That's correct. They are having trouble with this. However, and they expressed that they're having trouble.
Yeah.
They've called in sick so many times, so they just can't get their number of appointments in.
There's some stuff. Yeah.
Right? But then overall arching, I look at it and go, well, hang on, they've called in sick this day. Well, holy shit, it happens to be every goddamn Thursday and Friday.
That's tough.
Right? So to your point, I'd like to say, yes, we can look at one exact microscopic point as is the devil really good in this?
Right.
But then there's the overall arching of, is that devil actually like doing us really good overall?
Right.
Right.
Therefore, they're not really a devil.
Right. And Brian,
It's just that one little thing,
So,
which we're not saying Brian.
no, and
we're
Brian,
not
Brian's
saying
the
a
guy who's
human
like,
in
Brian's
any
the guy who's
aspect.
like, listen, I got a deal on a snow machine, so don't worry about it. You know what I mean? I mean, he's a vision. He moves that way, which makes him great, and that's why Aegis is exploding. But there's, I'm the guy who I'm like, we don't have a rocket ship yet. You want to get to Mars? You know.
So I remembered the example that I had
So
on the
I'm
way
like,
over to the studio before we have to do the what did you learn? So another devil you know situation is growth for your business, because we consistently grow about 35 to 38% every year. And that's the growth we've been doing for the last 5 years. Okay. And that's so that's like
Is that too loud in your ears, Kent? Or
so right. So then those of you stop doing those of you that know me. So those of you that know me know that I was thinking about getting into acquisition and ramping up and doing some really fast growth. So that's obviously a devil I don't know because of the retention, the expectation. I'm only buying goodwill. I've discovered it's a little bit harder to get money from a bank on a whim for the size of the amounts that I want on goodwill and whatever. But so through all of this and through all of this process for the last 10 months and bidding and going through the banks and going through like hard money lending and all these different things that we've tried to make this work, I've determined that maybe it's better to stick with the devil I know and just grow at the rate that we normally grow, which is a good growth rate. And then
Great.
And we have like
great growth rate.
Yeah, well, we have like clearly like our marketing and our things that are put in place are working and they're doing the things that they need to do. But then it's like maybe I should just take the signs that jumping in with the devil I don't know is not the path, because I keep hitting all of these brick walls throughout this process for like the last 10 months, which has taken time away from me focusing on other things in the business. Like it's caused me to have like some like struggles in certain things because I'm so focused over here when I have this well working machine over here, which also goes into our topic, I think for next week. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I feel like that's a good transition into that.
Well, also a quick question would be like, if you ignore it, would it break? So like you're like, yo, I'm going to try and expand, but I got this well-oiled machine. Should I just sit back and let it run?
Well, no, it still needs like tune-ups and oil changes and
stays running.
Right.
All right. So what did we learn today? We got 3 minutes. What did we learn today on In the Know with Steph and Joe?
You want me to go first or you to go?
I don't care.
Rochambeau.
What, do you have something?
Rochambeau.
Is that somebody's last
Rochambeau.
name?
Rochambeau is rock, paper, scissors.
Well, that's rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah. It's rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
You win.
Yeah, you're going first.
So I learned that I think when I walked into the studio, for me, I felt like it was either one or the other. Either it's the devil you know or the devil you don't. But I feel like after talking through it, there are so many circumstances where I've peeked behind the curtain or the door. And like, yeah, it might have cost me some money to do it that way, but it ultimately made me happier with my final decision.
You like getting a little naughty with the devil.
Yeah.
New devil. Getting naughty.
So go ahead.
What curtains are you peeking behind?
I don't know.
Here's what I'll say. In my younger days, when I was your kid's age,
bro, you're not that much older than us.
I
am. No, you're not. No, you're not.
Yeah.
You're not our parent.
Close.
Nope.
I could be. LeBron James is only 19 years older than his.
You're not 19
so anyway,
years older.
When I was your guys' age, I would have. I think I ran with the new devil all the time, and now that I'm older, I sleep with the devil I know. I'm right in it. We're gonna do this, and if this is working, I'm sticking with it. If it's not costing my business money, I'm gonna lay with that devil. I'm gonna play with his horns. I'm gonna spit fire with him. Whatever. Yep.
So what I learned is, I kind of knew it. I love what you said in the sense of like weigh your devils, right? If I got 5 grams of one devil, but 15 grams of 4 devils, or if I got 3 grams of 3 devils, right? Then I only got 3 grams and I got 5 grams. That means that one devil, like I'm going to run with whatever outweighs or underweighs
So the new devil is a little bit heavier.
The good stuff. I'm going with the good side of things, right?
Yeah.
That being said, I came into this thinking one devil versus the other. I'd like to say that multiple devils have definitely come into play here, right? And I think the more you talked about, Steph, talking about the multiple devils, the different things you always have to interact with, I really like that, and that I'm taking into account that because the more I play it, I try to bring in all the different variables. And when we say devils, I think we mean variables, right? It kind of is what it is. So to me, that's where my mindset is I'm now playing more variables, I guess, than
than before.
I play a lot of variables, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I just, what you said, like, really hit me hard. Not hard.
It resonated.
Thank you.
There you go.
Good word.
Yeah. Okay.
Have a great one, y'all.
Didn't hit him like pirate water. Hey,
Mom.
Next week, if it ain't broke, don't fix it right here on In the Know with Steph and Joe.
I mean,
like,
if
follow,
we're doing this,
subscribe
great.
out on Spotify.
We might as well
if
keep
you
it
love
fucking
what
up.
you hear, go visit on Spotify and subscribe to that because every week
my mic's
new
still on?
content's being dropped out there on that. Yeah, you're still on.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah. So, and we love everybody for hanging out with us on Friday. Have a great weekend.
Bye, Mom.